we could actually, please. Dominick, obviously a fantastic win for you tonight. Now that you had a little chance to reflect, can you tell us what the win really meant for you tonight? And also, you said you blacked out, don't really remember what happened. Is that typical, or was that just because the emotions were running so high tonight?
It's pretty typical, to be honest. I usually just kind of try to go on muscle memory, a lot of drilling. But the win for me tonight was just about, my own goal, my own set of goals. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how it would feel after 3 years. I didn't know what the lights were going to do. I didn't know what being there was going to do, and I just had to go in there and do it. It was big for me.
Dane, if I could ask you, how do you see the 135-pound title picture right now? Because obviously, Sun Seattle's kind of #1. He's got a fight next week. But Cruz never lost. It seems like public sentiment is saying they'd love to see it. So how do you see the title picture right now?
Nobody does that to Mizugaki. Nobody. And he didn't lose his belt in fighting. He's the unluckiest man on earth. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy.
So it'll be him and Dillashaw next?
Yeah.
Any target yet? Any idea? Fantastic.
Yeah, I worked out all the dates tonight and back, and the answer's done.
For Dominick Cruz. Dominick, it was mentioned earlier, to your right, it was mentioned earlier that Takeya Mizugaki, win or lose, a lot of times goes to decision. He's never finished that quickly. Was there anything you saw in your preparation that led you to believe that you might have a shot at a finish that early?
I just knew that I knew his weapons. I knew his set of tools. I studied him. I understand the sport. I understand the things that he brings to the table. He's basically a shoot boxer that's extremely durable and extremely tough. So I knew I had a lot more weapons than him and I could use them. I also knew that he was going to have a hard time finding me. The only thing I didn't know was how hard he was going to come at me. He had a choice. He could either stay on the outside and try to wait for me and let me pick up my rhythm and my feints and my timing, or he could try to rush me and catch me off guard and get me moving back. Well, depending on what you do, I make adjustments during the fight. I made the adjustment. He crawled to the fence, and doing that, you have no defense when you're crawling to the fence. That allowed me to slip some punches in and get the finish. I'm grateful for the finish.
Question for you basically about the adrenaline dump. I know you spend a lot of time mentally preparing for things, but I have to believe a little bit backstage it was probably a little anxiousness kind of.
So what's the question?
Did you have any sort of adrenaline dump before you came out today?
No, I felt like I've done this 20 times, I was ready for it. I believe I'm the best in the world. So I went out there and just did my job. Surprisingly, once I got there and saw a little piece of tape with my name on it, I actually felt more calm. Once I heard my song, I felt better. I was probably more nervous all day waiting at the hotel room before I even walked to the arena than I was once I got there. Once I got there and I saw the fighters around me and I was in the room with Kennedy and Cerrone and everybody and I just see them, it like brought peace to me. I felt like I was at home and it was nice to be away from the desk.
And do you feel like you're better than ever, or do you feel like quote-unquote old Dominick?
I'm far from the old Dominick. A lot of things are better. Nothing's worse. I'm ready to be back and I'm ready to have that belt.
Thanks.
It seems like next for you is going to be a title shot. How do you think that you match up with TJ Dillashaw?
I think I match up great with anybody in the division. Nothing but respect for everybody in the division, but I never really lost my title. I got hurt, and I haven't been sitting around eating, getting fat, doing nothing. I've been working, and I've been analyzing fights, breaking them down, learning about everybody in the division, everybody's style, watching people take bits and pieces of the things that I talk about and make it their own. And I'm watching the sport evolve, and I'm watching people grow and get better. And I'm with them. I haven't just been sitting around. I'm ready to go out there and have that belt. I never lost it. I shouldn't have gone in anybody else's hands, but I was hurt. It's my own doing, so I just want to go prove that I'm still there.
How much of the preparation coming into this fight was about the mental game and getting the confidence back in your knee?
100% of it is mental. Everything I did was mental. That's all it was. It's a mental game. It's a mental 3 years of hell. But you either make it or you break. And I had to make it. And I had to do something tonight to prove that I wouldn't break. And I felt like I went in there and broke somebody else to let that be known.